Talk. I am your host, MISHUMA SABA, M.SABA, and this is our Cultural Variety Podcast. Stay tuned. Peace, 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 peace. And welcome to the show, Coffee Talk Podcast. This is the Cultural Variety Podcast show, and I am your host, MISHUMA SABA, M.SABA, and this is our Cultural Variety Podcast. How y'all doing today? Thank you. Today is Tuesday, and you know Tuesday is not usually a podcast day for us on our schedule. However, this initially was going to be a part of our cultural talk on Monday. I also noticed that there was an error made yesterday as well, as far as the description of what our title was yesterday. It showed today's title of the show, which is what we're gonna talk about today, which is self-confidence formula. So that title was actually showed for yesterday's show. So just to bring clarity, yesterday's show was actually on Askia Muhammad. So definitely check out yesterday's podcast if you want to check that out. As far as the story, it's definitely a dope story. All right. So anyway, good evening. It is 8:04 p.m. in my time, and tonight we're gonna just go ahead and dive right into talking about self-confidence formula, the formula to have self-confidence, some of the things that you should train your mind to develop that confidence in you, to recognize that confidence in you. So that's what we're going to be discussing tonight on Coffee Talk Podcast. So other than that, man, I'm just happy to have you here. As we are just waiting for more people to tune on in, but I'm happy to have you here. I'm happy to go ahead and talk about this discussion, and let's see where it carries. How about that? That's what we want to do tonight. All right. So if this is your first time to the show, we never start the show without giving it its flavor, hence the word coffee talk, of course. And typically, when we give you the flavor, man, it's always some type of drink. It's either a coffee, a smoothie, some water, some of the best wine, whatever. We'll go ahead and give you that type of flavor along with a description of that type of brand or that type of product that we are giving flavor to. However, tonight's flavor we're gonna take a different route. Tonight's flavor is actually a word, but then we're gonna also give you the wise words like we continue to do every show. All right, but tonight's flavor is confidence. Why confidence? Because that's exactly what we're going to be talking about tonight. We're going to be talking about self-confidence. And confidence means so much. Without confidence, you can't nag that job. Without confidence, you can't build towards that career. Without confidence, you can't find that wife or that woman that you want to make your wife. Without confidence, you cannot keep that man. Without confidence, you go into any type of battles and you will be defeated because you don't have the confidence. So today's flavor is definitely confidence. So let's go ahead and just break down what exactly is confidence. Confidence is a belief in oneself, the conviction that one has the ability to meet life's challenges and to succeed, the willingness to act accordingly. So when you have confidence, you act accordingly. When you have confidence, you walk in that room with that same confidence. You become the big elephant in the room. If you have confidence, there's nothing that you cannot do. You should have the ability to overcome it, even if it takes a little bit of time. But without confidence, you are a failure. So again, confidence is a belief in oneself. The conviction, because you got to have conviction. You got to believe in yourself. No matter what people say, you have to believe in yourself. That's confidence. So you got to have that conviction that one has the ability to meet life's challenges, because life's going to throw a whole bunch of different obstacles at you. It's going to throw a monkey wrench at you. You know what I'm saying? But you got to have that ability to succeed that, you know. And again, you have to have that willingness to act accordingly. Anybody can go around acting like a punk or acting like a troublemaker or acting like somebody that's savage. You know what I'm saying? But if you got confidence, you're going to carry yourself with righteous intent every time. All right. So that's what today's flavor is. Today's flavor is the word confidence. Now, what is the wise words? Well, I should have just did it with my drums, huh? Ah. I don't like that drum pattern. We definitely got to get another drum pattern. Let's try this one. I don't like that one either, but we'll work on it. All right. But anyway, tonight's wise words tonight comes from a legend, man. And the very first time I saw this actress, this philanthropist, this model, uh, this beautiful woman, the brilliance of this beautiful woman, one of ours. I saw her in a movie, several movies. One was Lady Sings the Blues. The other one was The Wizard of Oz, or The Wiz, I should say. Um, she played in so many movies, man, that I know I'm not going to be able to name them all. I should have did more homework and had at least 10 of her movies mentioned because she's so legendary. But who am I talking about? I'm talking about Diana Ross. So tonight's wise words is going to come from Diana Ross, the legendary singer, former wife of Berry Gordy, um, the woman that has found and discovered the Jackson Five, Michael Jackson and the Jackson Five. Diana Ross, and here's her wise words. Diana Ross, I learned something from that. If someone asks me something that I really don't want to do, I say no. I have to trust that. And I'm not afraid to talk money. Miss Diana Ross. And the reason why that is the wise words tonight, because it made me think about, again, confidence. But also, what comes to mind is be careful what people offer you because it might not be what you're worth. So you have to have that type of confidence to go into any negotiation table. Somebody's going to make an offer and want to offer you $25 an hour, but you know you worth 30. You can't be afraid to talk money. You know, we cannot have money be the taboo. And every time, because we don't talk it verbally, we just try to assume it and we fall out with each other because of loans or because of lack thereof. This is why we are talking about confidence tonight. We're going to dig a little bit deeper into confidence. Tonight's reading is from a book titled Think and Grow Rich and the Laws of Success. As you can see that by author Napoleon Hill. I recommend y'all check this book out again. But so we're going to go ahead and we're going to talk about self-confidence formula, the formula for self-confidence. Excuse me as I rub my crown and make sure my crown is right. No doubt. All right, let's go ahead and jump in. So we're going to go with the first, second, third, fourth, and fifth things that you should always remind yourself when it comes to self-confidence. Let's go ahead and dive right on in. Self-confidence formula. First, I know that I have the ability to achieve the object of my definite purpose in life. Therefore, therefore, I demand of myself persistence, continuous action towards its attainment, and I here and now promise to render such action. Second, I realize the dominating thoughts of my mind will eventually reproduce themselves in outward physical action and gradually transform them into a physical reality. Have you ever heard of the word manifestation? That's what that's speaking of. Therefore, I will concentrate my thoughts for 30 minutes daily upon the task of thinking of the person I intend to become, thereby creating in my mind a clear mental picture of that person. Third, I know through the principles of auto suggestion Any desire that I presently hold in my mind will eventually seek expression through some practical means of attaining the object back of it. Therefore, I will devote 10 minutes daily demanding of myself the development of self confidence. Number four, I have clearly written down a description of my definite chief aim in life, and I will never stop trying until I shall have developed sufficient self confidence for its attainment. And number five, I fully realize that no wealth or position can long endure unless built upon truth and justice. Therefore, I will engage in no transaction which does not benefit all whom it affects. I will succeed by attracting to myself the forces I wish to use and the cooperation of other people. I will induce others to serve me because of my willingness to serve others. I will eliminate hatred, envy, jealousy, selfishness, cynicism by developing love for all humanity because I know that a negative attitude towards others can never bring me success. I will cause others to believe in me because I will believe in them and in myself. I will sign my name to this formula, commit it to memory, and repeat it aloud once a day with full faith that it will gradually influence my thoughts and actions so that I become a self reliant and successful person. The back of this formula is the law of nature, which no man has yet been able to explain. It has baffled the scientists of all ages. The psychologists have named this law autosuggestion and let it go at that. Autosuggestion. So before we continue, let's go ahead and ask ourselves, well, what is autosuggestion and how does it play its role in confidence? Well, autosuggestion is the hypnotic or subconscious adoption of an idea that one has originated oneself through repetition of verbal statements to oneself in order to change their behavior. So it's an adoption of an idea to to one's person, to and it's a originated thought. And you keep telling yourself these thoughts over and over and over and over until you obtain what you're looking for or you change your behavior. So that's what we're talking about here when we're talking about auto suggestion. Now, in medical terms, what exactly is this auto suggestion? What is autosuggestion? It's an influence of one's own attitudes, their behavior, or their physical condition by the mental process. Other than conscious thought, it's self hypnosis. So basically, you're telling yourself that you can do these things, but to be able to do these things, you must have confidence, and that's what we're talking about tonight. Let's go ahead and continue. The name by which one calls this law is of a little importance. The important fact about it is it works for the glory and success of mankind if it is used constructively. On the other hand, if used destructively, it will destroy just as readily. In this state, in this statement may be found a very significant truth, namely that those who go down in defeat and in their lives in poverty, misery, and distress do so because of negative application of the principle of autosuggestion. So what he's saying there is that because these people continue to think negative, you can never obtain anything in life by thinking negative or worrying about the outcome versus going towards the result. The cause may be found in the fact that all impulses of thought have a tendency to clothe themselves in their physical equivalent. The subconscious mind, the chemical laboratory in which all thought impulses are combined and made ready for translation into a physical reality, makes no distinction between constructive and destructive thought impulses. It works with the material we feed it through our thought impulses. The subconscious mind will translate into reality a thought driven by fear, just as readily as it will translate into a reality a thought driven by courage or faith. The pages of medical history are rich with illustrations of cases of suggestive suicide. A man may commit suicide through negative suggestion just as effectively as by any other means. In a Midwestern city, a man by the name of Joseph Grant, a bank official, borrowed a large sum of the bank's money without the consent of the directors. He lost the money through gambling. One afternoon, the bank examiner came and began to check the accounts. Grant left the bank and took a room in a local hotel. And when they found him 3 days later, he was lying in bed, wailing and moaning, repeating over and over these words: "My God, this will kill me. I cannot stand the disgrace." In a short time, he was dead. The doctors pronounced the case one of mental suicide. So I just want to pause there for a minute because we used to talk about this exact thing when it came to Tupac, one of the greatest rappers ever. And towards the end of Tupac's life, he always was making songs about death. And that is an auto suggestion because when you continue to talk about negative things will happen. You will conjure up those things. And that's what they're stating here about the banker. It's called mental suicide. Just as electricity would turn the wheels of the industry and render useful service if used constructively, or snuff out life if wrongly used, so will the law of autosuggestion will lead you to peace and prosperity or down into the valley of misery, failure, and death, according to your degree of understanding and the application of it. So yeah, these are just some few little lessons on autosuggestion. However, once you start to get the understanding of what autosuggestion is and start to understand how you apply this to your lessons is the only way that it can work in a positive manner for you versus a destructive manner. But it also can work in a destructive manner if that's how you're intending to use it. You will fill your mind with fear, doubt, and unbelief in your ability to connect with and use the forces of infinite intelligence. The law of autosuggestion will take this spirit of unbelief and use it as a pattern by which your subconscious mind will translate it into its physical equivalent. So if you always telling yourself, "Oh man, I'm sick. I'm sick. I think I'm sick. I feel sick. I've been around somebody sick." If you constantly telling yourself that and you're putting that into the universe, then that's what's going to become of you. Again, this is auto suggestion. This is also a manifestation. Two different words, same meaning. Let's carry on. This statement is as true as the statement that two and two are four. Like the wind which carries one ship east and another west, the law of autosuggestion will lift you up or pull you down according to the way you set your sails of thought. The law of autosuggestion through which any person may rise to altitudes of achievement which stagger the imagination is well described in the following verse. That verse says this: if you think you are beaten, you are. If you think you dare not, you don't. If you like to win, but you think you can't, it is almost certain you won't. If you think you'll lose, you're lost. For one of the world we find, success begins with the fellow's will. It's all in the state of mind. If you think you are outclassed, you are. You got to think high to rise. You got to be sure of yourself before you can ever win a prize. Life's battles don't always go to the stronger or faster man, but soon or late, the man who wins is the man who thinks he can. Observe the words which have been emphasized, and you will catch the deep meaning which the poet had in mind. Somewhere in our makeup, perhaps in the cells of your brain, there lies sleeping, the seed of achievement, which, if aroused and put into action, would carry you to heights such as you may never have hoped to obtain. Just as a master musician may cause the most beautiful strains of music to pour forth from the strings of a violin, so may you arouse the genius which lies asleep in your brain and cause it to drive you upward to whatever goal you may wish to achieve. Abraham Lincoln was a failure at everything he tried until he was well past the age of 40. He was a Mr. Nobody from nowhere until a great experience came into his life, aroused the sleeping genius within his heart and brain, and gave the world one of his really great men. The experience was mixed with the emotions of sorrow and love. It came to him through Annie Rutledge, the only woman who he ever truly loved. It is a known fact that the emotion of love is closely akin to the state of mind known as faith. And this for the reason that love comes very near to translating one's thoughts, impulses into their spiritual equivalent. During this work of research, the author discovered from the analysis of the life work and achievements of hundreds of men of outstanding accomplishment that there was the influence of a woman's love back of nearly every one of them. The emotion of love in the human heart and brain creates a favorable field of magnetic attraction, which causes an influence of higher and finer vibrations, which are afloat in the ether. And so, what I want to say by that last part there is like they always say, if you have that confidence in yourself and people are already following you, that magnetic attraction would bring even more. You have to know what to do with it. This is our thoughts tonight here at Coffee Talk Podcast as we go ahead and share that small reading of Self Confidence, the Self Confidence Formula by Napoleon Hill, and the book of Think and Grow Rich and the Law of Success. What's your thoughts on that story? Do you believe you have to have confidence to achieve all things? And if you don't have confidence, how do you build your confidence up? Go ahead and leave a comment. Go ahead and share the video with your friends. Let them know that Coffee Talk Podcast is on and they don't want to miss this great show tonight. Go ahead and hit the like button, share the video, and subscribe through YouTube, our YouTube channel. Well, tonight, this is Tuesday, and as we get ready to go ahead and sign off, I just want to go ahead and say that we sending positive energy to all people that need it at this time, and don't allow for small things to distract you from the moment. You know what I'm talking about? So we're gonna go ahead and hit you with the universal peace sign. I am your host, Mashuma Saba, and this is the Cultural Variety Podcast Show. Until next time, tomorrow, which is Wednesday, we got Wednesday Night Sports Edition. Go ahead and tune on in then. Come on in. Pour yourself some water, some wine, a smoothie. But come on in, kick your feet up, and enjoy yourself in our humble home. Welcome to Coffee Talk Podcast. Peace.